David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. Well, folks, I'm at the Prospectors and Developers Association of Canada's annual conference, and the guest speaker of honor is none other than Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Now, I think when you're talking about natural resources, you'd think that the PM wouldn't dare show his face at this conference. After all, just 8 days ago, the Teck Resources, the multi-billion dollar, $20 billion project was canceled. And we just saw too how this country can be crippled for weeks thanks to a few agitators camping out on railroad tracks despite the rule of law and despite court orders. But nevertheless, Justin Trudeau is here to address this crowd as well as a few other senior Liberal cabinet ministers. Let's go into the hall and see what they have to say.
I've been very much looking forward to this event because it highlights the kind of future that Canadians are building right across the country. A future where innovation creates good jobs for people, where we grow the economy while protecting our environment. A future where Canada is the best place in the world to invest. But first I want to talk about mining, because yours is an industry that already understands that good climate policy is good business. So today, I am announcing that we will extend the existing zero-emission vehicle incentive for businesses to include off-road vehicles like mining fleets. When it comes to fighting climate change and safeguarding the environment, our government is unapologetically ambitious. We put a price on pollution right across the country. We will meet and exceed our 2030 Paris targets. And this year, we will begin to work on a plan to achieve net zero by 2050.
Well, folks, I'm pinching myself. I don't know if I'm in a dream or a nightmare. There was Prime Minister Trudeau just days after that incredible loss in the natural resources sector. Yes, I'm talking about the Teck Resources project in Alberta being canceled, the $20 billion project. And what does he go on about? Climate change and taxing pollution and electrifying mining operations. It was staggering. Well, in any event, I'm wondering if people here that listen to what I listen to are just as gobsmacked as I am. So I'm going to try to interview some of the attendees that just took in that climate change sermon I did a few minutes ago.
Brilliant. I love the support for the mining industry of Canada coming straight from the top guy.
Well, I think it's fantastic when a Prime Minister takes the time to come to an exploration and mineral extraction conference. Fantastic.
The benefits he just announced for off-road electric vehicles in the mining industry, I think, is a wonderful way of promoting green, environmental, sustainable practices.
Are they really that supportive? I mean, you know, the elephant in the room, I think, at this convention is the fact that the Teck Resources, the $20 billion project, being canceled. So does that kind of jive with the idea of investing in Canada is a good thing, that Canada is open for business?
Well, every country's got challenges, and right now, land tenure is a big issue for all of us.
In the global perspective, I think every region has its own challenge.
I just don't see people in Australia or China shutting down the train tracks illegally.
Projects will come and go,
Okay.
but you need to have a sustainable policy at the federal level that makes it work.
There's been no $20 billion projects canceled in Mexico. At least recently.
No. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
There's no better place to invest than Canada. You know, our First Nations got a bad deal 150 plus years ago.
And it's important for us to listen and to negotiate a new framework, something brand new for Canada, because the idea you're going to send in the RCMP or send in the Army to suppress protest is not going to work. We need to turn the page on that.
Oh, ma'am, I'm all about, supporting peaceful protests, but what we saw last month for almost 3 weeks was illegal protests. They were defying a court order, and for almost 3 weeks, rail travel in Canada was paralyzed. If I'm a foreign investor, Do I want to invest in a country where the government can't even enforce its own laws?
I think it is a this is the number one issue at this convention.
Biggest employer of those Indigenous people is the mining industry. We're on side. We want that deal changed too.
At least that interest into looking at Canada as an investment option, in my opinion, is positive. But in the mining or natural resource sector, I think people are cautious at this point in time.
But sir, in British Columbia, it's been 20 out of 20 native band councils that were in support of the Coastal GasLink project. So I would argue protesting that project is anti-native.
Well, I don't think we use the word native in our dialogue at all anymore. That's
Oh, what's the right word? I'm sorry.
Indigenous or Aboriginal, First Nations.
Okay.
But, yeah, that's more of the nomenclature that we would use.
Okay.
There's no question that First Nations people, Aboriginal people, are on side for the most part, like most of the Canadian public, for a healthy economy. Healthy economy means clean economy. Our employees, our staff, our management live in these communities. It's important to us as a mining industry. We want clean projects, clean economies as well. So in any event, I think it's a very critical dialogue. It's finally happening during our lifetime.
I'm stunned again. No, I can't believe this, folks. I mean, for the most part, everybody was giving the Prime Minister a thumbs up. It can't be, though. I mean, especially in light of the rail blockade fiasco of last month, especially in light of the Teck Resources project boondoggle. So it has me wondering what the unspoken strategy is. And I think it's this. These people in this natural resources developing business have to play nice with government. They have other projects on the go. They have other concerns on the line. And you don't, I think, want to get nasty with the climate change Justin Trudeau liberals on camera, because, well, simply put, that might not be good for business. Oh, and here is a perverse PS to this story, folks. The diamond sponsor of this conference, if you can imagine, is indeed Teck Resources. Like I said, I think I'm dreaming. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, you want to make sure you get a notification from YouTube about a new Rebel News video going up? Well, you gotta click that little bell icon. Please do so, and YouTube will be sure that you never again miss another Rebel News notification.